Sweet Baba teaches us everything. And even some things that we think we know, and then when Baba teaches us that very thing, then sometimes you realize that all this time you didn't know. You only thought you know. But then when Baba teaches it, then you understand the truth or the right perspective about that thing. And today, Baba talks about how to be a well-wisher, how to be a well-wisher of somebody, Shubh Chintak. And how do you think you become a well-wisher for somebody? So just write in the chat box what you think is the idea of becoming a well-wisher. Or we, in most relationships, we think that we are well-wishers. So what is the method in which you wish well for somebody? Or how do you qualify as a well-wisher? So if you would like to share any thoughts, just write in the chat box so that we can start to understand what Baba means when he says we are true well-wishers. So there's nobody who is writing, so no answers. So mostly you see, so one answer we have, so thinking good and elevated thoughts for other souls, yes. So sometimes we think that when we think good and elevated thoughts for somebody, then that is called being a well-wisher. But and that is of course being a well-wisher. But then Baba today takes us into a deeper understanding of how to be a well-wisher for somebody. So Baba says, first thing, when I am a well-wisher for somebody, then what I would do is I would not hold their defects and their shortcomings in my heart. So that is being a well-wisher. So if somebody is doing something, wrong, or they have some weakness which they are not able to overcome, then I would not hold that weakness or that shortcoming in my awareness or in my heart. So you see, yesterday there was a mother and son, and they had come to the center, and the mother kept telling, at least for a good 30 minutes, she continuously talked about what is wrong with her son and just how problematic he is and what he does and how wrong that is, or what are his problems and what are his defects and how he is disobedient and he's not focused and this and that. And then after all of that discussion, she told me that you see, Didi, I am his well-wisher, so I have to point out his defects. So you see, it is another thing to point out somebody's defects, but if you hold those defects in your heart, and if you in the next step, if you are also describing those defects to somebody, if you are describing the defects, that means you are holding it very firmly in your heart. There's a whole, there's a whole narrative you have in your heart or in your awareness about somebody's weaknesses and defects. And Baba has told us that our thoughts and our vision it impacts the souls around us. And how we look at them, or what I hold in my awareness when I look at a soul, it has an impact on that soul. And when we understand this, then if I'm a well-wisher, I would never hold somebody's defects or weaknesses in my heart, let alone, describe it to somebody, or give a description, or explain it to somebody that these are the defects of this soul. Let alone doing that, I would never even think about it. So that is the sign of a well-wisher. And then second thing is, instead of getting disheartened because of their defects, you have to maintain faith in them. You have to maintain hope in them that they will do better. And with that hope and faith, you also have to encourage them, and you have to light the light of zeal and enthusiasm in their heart. Even if they have defects or they have some shortcomings, you don't have to lose heart because of that. When somebody gives up on you, that's a very low, that's when somebody gives up on you, and you are in that environment where somebody has given up on you, you are not being sustained spiritually. So Baba says that giving up on people and becoming disheartened because you see some shortcomings in them, that's not being a well-wisher. So despite whatever they have done or whatever they are doing, or despite all of their weak sanskars, I should be able to have faith in that soul, and I should be able to also ignite that light of faith in that soul. I should be able to speak and see that soul, speak to and see that soul in such a manner that they are also filled with zeal and enthusiasm, hope and faith in themselves. And that is being a well-wisher. Being a well-wisher is not just creating good thoughts about somebody and then holding their weaknesses in your heart. Because sometimes, we think that we are thinking good about somebody. But if you hold somebody's weakness in your heart, you are not thinking good about them. You are radiating the energy that you are holding in your heart. So when the energy that you are holding in your heart is weak, it is judgmental, you have opinion about that soul, that this is not a worthy soul, then how can you have good thoughts about them? It's not possible. And then Baba has also taught us the power to transform. What is the power to transform? So, when you see somebody doing something or behaving in a certain manner, not holding that version of them, but holding their original version in your awareness, that is your power to transform. So maybe today somebody is being lazy, somebody is being disobedient, but let me have the power to transform my internal image of them. And in my internal image, I only see them as disciplined and obedient and very hardworking. And that is being a well-wisher. So am I a well-wisher? Just ask yourself. And we have been telling ourselves, we have been telling others that I am a well-wisher, so I am talking about this person's weakness. But when you are a well-wisher, you don't talk about somebody else's weakness. You see, when you are your own well-wisher, so when you want to do better, when you want to be better, do you go and talk about your weaknesses to everybody? No, you want to be aware of them and work on them in silence. You don't want to make a big thing out of that weakness. That is not being a well-wisher for yourself. And when you cannot be a well-wisher of yourself in this manner, then how can you talk about somebody's weakness and say that I'm a well-wisher of this person? And Baba says that especially in Sangam Yuga, we Brahmin children, we have been entrusted with the duty of being well-wishers for everybody. So our first task is to not hold anybody's weakness in my heart, transform that weakness and hold their pure, powerful self in my heart, never talk about somebody's weakness to others, and when I interact with them, let me also plant the seed of zeal and enthusiasm in that soul. Let me also try to pull them from their state of disheartenment, because you see, when somebody has a weakness, then they are also disheartened because of that. And because they are disheartened, that is why they are not even trying to change. Do you know, not trying to change is a sign of disheartenment. So when you have tried and failed, then you don't even try to change. And then you just believe that I can't improve. And most people in the world, whether they say it with humility, whether they say it with ego, everybody is saying I can't change. And I can't change is a sign of disheartenment. So when souls are so disheartened that they start speaking this language that I can't change, and then you start telling them that of course you can't change, you are so bad you can never change. So when you also start saying that same language, that means they have given up on themselves and you have also given up on them. But when you start believing that yes, this is a soul and every soul can change, and then you also start sowing those seeds in their heart that you are capable of change, you can, why can't you? And instilling that hope and faith in them, that is being a well-wisher. So this is something that Baba teaches, and I found it very interesting because we don't know anything, and now we are learning, and then we also didn't know how to be a well-wisher. So this is first. And then today Baba says, you are the children who know the difference between knowledge and ignorance. You know the difference between a jnani and an agyani. And you see, these are such interesting words. So who is a jnani and who is an agyani? So somebody might have done a PhD, or somebody might be working in a very big position in the world, but that doesn't mean he's a jnani. An engineer is an engineer, a politician is a politician, a doctor is a doctor, a teacher is a teacher, but who is a jnani and who is an agyani? So yesterday there's one brother and he has done his engineering from IIT, and he has been working in various pivotal positions all his life, and now he has come to undertake the course. And he was just telling me yesterday that, Didi, however much we study in the world, we can never study outside of this class what is taught in this class, because this is God's class and He teaches us something which is absolutely different from what we study in the world. And you see, a jnani is not somebody who has many degrees or who has done his graduation, post-graduation and PhD in some subject, or somebody who is very experienced in the ways of the world. Those are not jnanis. Baba says a jnani is created by the Gyan Sagar. Only the ocean of knowledge makes you jnani, and everybody else is ajnani. And Baba says, what is jnani? So, when first thing you have to know is yourself to be jnani, and then you have to know your father to be jnani. So, then you know your beginning, middle, and end. But first thing you know is you know yourself in order to be a jnani. And you see, it is said knowledge is power. And does the knowledge of the world fill you with power? No. The more you know, the more you are full of fear. And that is why, about worldly knowledge it is said ignorance is bliss. Because the less you know, the more blissful you are. But when it comes to more information of the world, more knowledge about whatever we study in the world, so the more you know about the law, the more you know how badly you can be caught in a legal matter. The more you know about the body, the more you know how much you can't control the diseases. So the more you know, the more fear you have. Knowledge of the world doesn't fill you with power, it fills you with fear. And Baba says, I am the only one who is the ocean of knowledge, and I give you that knowledge which fills you with power, that which makes you a jnani. And a jnani is powerful because knowledge is power. So when you become jnani, you become very powerful. And only Baba gives that jnana which makes us powerful. And the first point of that jnana is you are a soul. And just knowing that you are the master of your mind and intellect and sanskar is such a big breakthrough. Because for the last 63 births, everybody told us that you can't control the mind. And here Baba tells us the mind is your creation. You are the master of the mind, intellect and sanskar. And we never knew. And because I never knew I am the master, so I never sat on the seat of the master and ordered the mind. Now, every time if you keep saying that the mind doesn't listen to me, or there are many people who come and the first thing they will tell me is, I can't meditate. So I tell them, you can if you think you can, you can't if you think you can't. And if you think you can't meditate, nobody can make you meditate. So first you have to know you can meditate. That's why you need knowledge first. And knowledge tells you, I am and I can. And you see, that is knowledge. So Baba says, you are the master, you are powerful, you are peaceful, you are loveful. So why can't you be peaceful? Why can't you rule the mind? Why can't you be happy? Because you are that. And until and unless you know who you are, you don't know what you can do or can't do. Because I am is related to I can. Baba says, Smriti se samarthi. What you know about yourself, you can do about yourself. So, your knowing decides how much you can. So, Baba makes us know that I am the master, and the moment I sit on my seat of self-mastery and tell my mind, don't go there, go here, it starts obeying me. But until I sit in that seat of authority, the mind won't listen to me. And then the moment you know that your intellect is like a muscle, just like your hand is a muscle you have, and then you can stretch it outwards, you can take it inwards. Your intellect is also like that. You want to make it wander outside, you can. You want to collect it and take it within, you can. And then the moment you know that and experiment with it, you realize that yes, it is as easy to turn inwards as it is easy to go outwards. And then you know how to take your intellect upwards also, because Baba gives you the knowledge of what is up above, that there is the soul world, there is your home, there is Baba. And Baba says that, Baba also tells us that you are the master of your sanskars. And then Baba tells you are the master of your tongue, you are the master of your mouth, you are the master of your ears and eyes. And then you start understanding that all this while, so you see, in the past there have been learned people who blinded their eyes. Surdas, he blinded his own eye because he thought that the eyes are the culprit and they see all the wrong stuff, and then I can't help the eyes or I can't control the eyes. So then he took a spear and blinded his eyes. And Baba says, you are the master of the eyes. You want to see something, you see something. You don't want to see something, you don't see something. And Baba says, anyways, what do you see? See with attention. You never say see with the eyes. You say see with attention, pay attention. When you want somebody to look where you're looking, you say pay attention. Do you say turn your eyes? No. You say pay attention, because it is your attention that makes you see something or hear something. And Baba says that when you get the knowledge that you are the master of all the sense organs and all the subtle organs of mind, intellect and sanskars, and that you are peaceful, powerful, loveful, so all your sense organs and your mind, intellect, sanskars are peaceful, loveful, joyful, then you become very powerful. So Baba says this is Gyan, this is what makes you a Gyani. And then second thing that makes you a Gyani is knowing Baba. That Baba, the one that everybody says is the Almighty and the ocean, he is my father. And I have complete right over him. I don't have to beg him, I don't have to bribe him, I don't have to, I don't have to please him. People are also trying to sing hymns and chant and sing praise of God. You don't have to please him, you don't have to bribe him, you don't have to beg him. He's yours. So Baba says you are the children who have a right over me, and you just have to remember me. And this is very profound, that we thought we have to please him, bribe him, beg to him. But Baba says, no, just remember me. And I'm all yours, and everything that I have is yours. And Baba says, just remember me as your father and you get the inheritance. Just remember me as your teacher and you get a position in Satyug. Just remember me as the ocean of peace, you will get peace. Just remember me as the ocean of purity, I will purify you. So this is knowledge, and this is what makes you a Gyani. And Baba says everybody else is Agyani. And when we say somebody is Agyani, you mean they are powerless. And when somebody is powerless, then what do you do to them? You have mercy on them. Yes, you have mercy on them. You don't judge them. Who judges the downtrodden and the powerless? The very egoistic. So those who are noble, they always have mercy on the powerless. And Baba says, once you understand that you have the knowledge and they don't have the knowledge, so what you can do, they can't do. Then what do? You have mercy on them and you don't judge them for their actions, but as an act of mercy, you try to share this gyan with them and you try to change them into gyanis. You try to make them know their powers, their virtues, their strengths, and their relationship with the Supreme One, Almighty Himself. So Baba says this is the difference between a jnani and an agyani, and only you know that. And then Baba today says that there are two kinds of purity: limited purity and unlimited purity. So here we are on the path of becoming pure. So we have to understand purity in all its dimensions. And then limited purity is, not not engaging in lust, so being celibate, having pure food, taking care of your drishti, not seeing stuff that aggravates your anger and lust, or not hearing stuff that does so. So all these are aspects of limited purity. And then Baba says, when you start practicing all of this, then what is your goal? Your goal is unlimited purity. And what is unlimited purity? Unlimited purity is when the soul remembers just one Baba and none other. So there is nobody else's remembrance in your intellect. That is called unlimited purity. You remember no bodily being other than Baba. And Baba says, now is the time to forget everybody that you see with the two eyes and everything that you see with the two eyes. And how do you forget somebody? So, when they are useless, you forget them. Yes, who do you forget? The one who is useless. When somebody doesn't serve your purpose, you forget them. Is it not so? It is so. You never forget somebody who is useful. Man is so selfish, You always forget that one who is of no use to you. And Baba says, now you have to understand that this whole world is of no use to you. It is an old, dirty, depleted world which is on the verge of destruction, and it is not going to serve you in any way. It is only going to fail you and deceive you. So when you get this right, when your intellect understands it, because although every day Baba tells us that this is an old world, this is a world going to be destroyed, this is a dirty world, still our intellect doesn't get it. And then when you start thinking about it, so you take a point of knowledge and then you churn over it, that when Baba is saying this old world is dirty and depleted and there is no hope in this world, let me just check what comes to my mind which corroborates what Baba is saying. And when you think about it, you will dig out all the experiences and all the logic that makes sense to you and which makes you realize that this world is indeed old and dirty, and that you don't need to attach your heart to this world. And when you understand this, then you have unlimited renunciation. So what is unlimited renunciation? You are in this world, but you don't remember anyone or anything of this world. And Baba says that unlimited renunciation will lead to unlimited purity. You will only remember one Baba. But Baba also gives one word of caution. And what is that word of caution? Now don't try to forge new relationships in this old world. Yes, and Baba says that these days, people want to get married and people want to have children and this and that. And then Baba says, I am telling you to forget the old world. And then what you are trying to do is, when you are in a new relationship, that is when you are again embroiling your intellect into one new remembrance, and then again you have to make the effort to forget it. So don't forge new relationships in this old world anymore. And you see, many a times people ask us that when married people come, then you say, you live in the household and then you practice Gyan and Yoga. But when unmarried people come, then you say, don't get married or choose a pure life. Why? Because Baba says whatever karmic accounts you already have, that is your karmic settlement. You can't do anything about it. You have to settle it. But at least when you have got knowledge and you have a choice, don't consciously try to enter a new karmic settlement. So Baba says, again, you will enter that relationship, then again you will remember that soul, and then again try to forget that soul. So why make all this, why have so much of, create so much of nuisance again? So this is something that Baba warns us against. And again, if somebody still does that, Baba says, okay, then this is your karmic settlement. But then Baba warns in advance that don't try to forge new relationships now in this old world. Then second thing Baba says is, when you have remembered somebody for very long, yes, so Baba gives the example of a friend, and then you are with that friend for some time, and then you have thought about that friend and interacted with that friend and shared time and shared thoughts with that friend for very long, then it becomes very difficult for you to forget that friend. So Baba says that A, you become body conscious, and when you're body conscious, you remember bodily beings. B, if you create karmic accounts, how is karmic account created? When you invest your time, thought, energy, word, deed, body, mind, wealth into a soul. So whenever you invest your time, thought, energy, body, mind, wealth, word and act, when you invest it into a soul, it creates a karmic account. And Baba says, if you invest so much into souls, if you think about them, remember them, if you spend time with them, if you exchange money and resources with them, or you physically do stuff for them, or you engage your karma with them, then that creates a karmic account. And then because there's a karmic account that you have created, it becomes very difficult for you to forget that person. Because when you have created a karmic account, that karmic account will pull you. So Baba says, in this world, when you are investing into souls, because you see, even right now when I'm giving you a class, I'm investing my time and thought in you, right? But Baba says, when you're doing that in this world, always keep Baba in between. Never have any direct investment with any thought, any soul. Just know that this is seva, and whatever you are doing it on Baba's Srimad. You're not doing it for the soul, you're doing it for Baba. And when you do that, it becomes seva. But otherwise, if you have created a direct karmic account, it will be very difficult for you to forget that person. Even when, have you seen that when you invest your time, thought, energy, body, mind, wealth into a person, into a relationship, and then even if they betray you, you can't stop thinking about them. They have betrayed you, they have left you, they have abandoned you, they have done the worst to you. But you can't stop thinking about them, because thinking about somebody is not about love. Thinking about somebody is karmic settlement. Thinking about somebody is an aspect of you having created karmic accounts with them. And when you have created a karmic account with the soul, they will do the worst to you and you will not be able to forget them. So this is why Baba says, do not engage with souls directly. Always keep Baba in between. Whatever you do, just know that you are doing it for Baba, not to any soul. And second thing, make an effort to not create any more karmic accounts with souls, and just remember one Baba, because when you remember just one Baba, then you become pure in an unlimited way. And Baba then also says, body, there is another law, that when you are body conscious, you will remember bodily beings. So when you think I am a body, you will remember a bodily being. So that is why it is very important to also practice soul consciousness. I am just a soul. All my relationships are with one Baba. So when you are soul conscious, you will have the capacity to remember one Baba. And when you're body conscious, you will try to remember one Baba, but then you will be pulled by other bodily beings. So don't create new karmic accounts. New karmic accounts will become very difficult to settle. Second, practice soul consciousness. Third, only remember one Baba. Forget all the bodily beings, and then we will have what is called unlimited purity. And unlimited purity will take you to the world of unlimited purity, which is Satyug. Okay, Om Shanti.